They've lied to you again and again. The spiritual world, the sacred path, the promise of awakening, it's all been wrapped in half-truths and illusions, designed to keep you searching, never arriving. You feel it, don't you? That nagging sense that something's missing, that no matter how many retreats you attend, how many tools you try, or how many transformative moments you chase, the answers still feel out of reach. What if I told you that this isn't your failure, but theirs? The system was never designed to set you free. In fact, it thrives on your confusion. Behind the polished mantras and glowing promises lies a secret, a series of deceptions so deeply woven into modern spirituality that most never see them. These aren't innocent misunderstandings. They're deliberate traps, crafted to keep you dependent, compliant, and endlessly searching. Comfort over discipline, quick fixes over commitment, hierarchies disguised as enlightenment. They sell you the illusion of transformation while quietly stealing the very power you already hold. But here's the part they don't want you to know. Once you see through the lies, they can no longer hold you. What comes next isn't easy. The truth rarely is. It will demand that you look at your practices, your beliefs, and even yourself with unflinching honesty. But if you're ready, truly ready to step beyond the illusions, this journey will be unlike anything you've ever known. We're not here to comfort you. We're here to reveal the lies, shatter the illusions, and show you how to reclaim the path that's been yours all along. Are you willing to go deeper, to see what they've hidden from you? Then keep watching, because the truth changes everything. They've told you the lie so often that it feels like truth. Enlightenment requires something outside of yourself. Whether it's sacred plants, costly workshops, or the latest transformative experience, modern spirituality thrives on keeping seekers dependent. They whisper promises of shortcuts and breakthroughs, but these tools, when overused, only tether you further to the illusion that you're incomplete. The ancient wisdom of shamans and mystics honored these aids as sacred, used sparingly, with discipline and reverence. Yet today, the marketplace has corrupted this wisdom, turning what should be rare and sacred into a crutch that robs you of your natural power. This dependency doesn't come from the tools themselves. It's the mindset they breed. Each retreat, each ceremony, each dose of plant medicine offers a fleeting glimpse into higher states, leaving you craving more. But have you noticed? No matter how many experiences you stack, the fundamental challenges within remain untouched. The lie is seductive because it feels like progress, yet it keeps you spiraling, chasing the next fix. Traditional teachings warned of this trap. Tools were never meant to replace the inner work. Modern culture ignored that warning, creating eternal seekers instead of realized beings. Think about it. How often are these tools marketed as gateways to cosmic wealth, spiritual awakening, or ego dissolution? But instead of unlocking your potential, they quietly reinforce the belief that you can't grow without them. It's a clever trick, isn't it? By seeking answers outside yourself, you silence the internal voice that already holds the truth. The more you rely on external validation, the more distant your connection to your innate spiritual discipline becomes. Dependency breeds stagnation, and stagnation, no matter how adorned with rituals, is still a trap. Yet, the dependency trap is just the first layer. Beneath it lies something even more insidious, something disguised as the ultimate comfort. When the pursuit of growth feels easy, when the practices themselves don't challenge you, what are you really cultivating? The truth is, transformation demands discomfort. The path to true awakening doesn't bend to convenience. It demands that you rise to meet its intensity. They've sold you another lie, one even harder to detect, that spiritual growth should feel easy, harmonious, and comforting. Modern spirituality wraps itself in this illusion, offering casual practices, weekend retreats, and shallow affirmations. But the truth is far less palatable. Real growth demands discomfort. The ancient masters knew this intimately. They meditated through freezing nights, fasted for days, and subjected their minds and bodies to rigorous discipline. Not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood that transformation begins where comfort ends. Look at the great spiritual traditions. Whether it's the Himalayan yogis meditating from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m., or the ascetic practices of ancient Egyptian mystics, the story is always the same. They embraced the difficult, the challenging, the seemingly impossible. Why? Because it was in those moments of resistance that their egos dissolved and true breakthroughs occurred. Modern spirituality, however, avoids this intensity, offering instead an endless buffet of feel-good moments. But temporary comfort cannot build the foundation for lasting transformation. The ego loves ease, but evolution requires fire. Now consider your own life. When was the last time you willingly embraced discomfort for your spiritual growth? Not the kind of discomfort that comes from external chaos, but the deliberate, intentional kind. The discipline of rising before dawn for meditation, of fasting to purify your mind, of sitting in silence when every fiber of your being wants to escape. These are the practices that forge spiritual strength, and yet the modern world encourages you to sidestep them, offering you convenience instead of depth. But depth cannot be bought. It must be earned. The allure of ease is strong, but it is a dead end. When you lean into comfort, you lean away from transformation. This is the crossroads every seeker must face, the choice between fleeting ease and enduring growth. And growth, as we'll soon see, has no shortcuts, no quick fixes. It unfolds slowly, relentlessly, demanding every ounce of your commitment. They promised you instant enlightenment, didn't they? A weekend workshop, a guided meditation, or a single ritual, and suddenly you'd be transformed. But here's the uncomfortable truth they hide. Real spiritual evolution doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds gradually, demanding patience, effort, and unshakable commitment. The cosmos itself took billions of years to form the intricate consciousness you possess. Why would your awakening happen in a single moment? This lie of instant results preys on the ego's hunger for quick fixes, offering illusions instead of substance. True spiritual traditions have always taught the slow unfolding of transformation. Think of the yogis who spent years in silent retreat, the monks who meticulously cultivated their inner worlds through daily discipline, or the mystics who immersed themselves in practices spanning decades. They understood what modern spirituality tries to bypass. Awakening requires consistent, focused effort. It's not glamorous, it's not marketable, but it's the only way to achieve lasting change. Anything else, it's a mirage, a temporary high that fades, leaving you back where you started. Modern spirituality has made a business of selling shortcuts, promising cosmic wealth or instant spiritual growth through a single practice. But look closer. What do these shortcuts really produce? Brief moments of euphoria, perhaps, but no lasting transformation. Like a seed planted in poor soil, there's no depth for growth. True change comes from nurturing your spiritual practice every single day, even when it feels tedious, even when results seem far away. That is the law of progressive evolution. Small, deliberate actions, compounded over time, lead to monumental breakthroughs. The illusion of instant results isn't just misleading, it's dangerous. It conditions you to believe that if you don't see immediate change, the path itself is flawed. But real growth doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers, emerging subtly, like the first light of dawn after a long night. And just as the dawn requires patience, so too does the journey ahead, where the steady pursuit of depth will challenge even the most steadfast seeker. Modern spirituality loves to tell you that all paths lead to the same truth. It sounds inclusive, comforting even, but is it true? Beneath this surface of harmony lies a dangerous illusion: spiritual relativism. This idea suggests that every practice, no matter how shallow or untested, carries equal weight in your journey. But ancient traditions tell a different story. Across time and cultures, certain principles, disciplined meditation, breath work, ethical conduct, stand as cornerstones of authentic growth. Ignoring them in favor of novelty only leads to confusion, not clarity. Think about it. The wisdom of yogis, Egyptian priests, and esoteric Christian mystics wasn't a coincidence. They discovered through direct experience that certain practices consistently unlock higher states of consciousness. Yet modern seekers often dismiss these time-tested paths in favor of blending superficial techniques. A little yoga here, some breath work there, and maybe a crystal ritual for good measure. But what does this patchwork approach really achieve? Without depth, without commitment, these practices remain hollow, a buffet of spiritual consumerism rather than a meal that truly nourishes. Relativism also masks a subtler danger. It feeds the ego. When you believe every path is equally valid, it becomes easy to avoid the discomfort of real work. Why commit to disciplined meditation when a trendy sound bath promises the same results? Why confront your inner shadows when a manifestation workshop tells you to focus only on the positive? This everything goes mentality isn't freedom. It's a trap. It keeps you circling in surface-level experiences, avoiding the profound depths that true transformation demands. The weight of choice can feel overwhelming in a world brimming with spiritual options. But discernment isn't about exclusion, it's about recognizing what truly works. Ancient wisdom offers a compass, but few are willing to follow it. Most prefer the illusion of progress to the slow, steady work of depth. And so the seeker moves forward, only to discover that beneath the surface lies another deception, one even harder to detect, a separation that must be dissolved. They've told you that spirituality belongs in a sacred space, a temple, a yoga mat, or a quiet corner during your morning meditation. But this lie runs deeper than it seems, carving invisible lines between your spiritual practice and the rest of your life. The truth? Spirituality doesn't exist in compartments. The ancient masters didn't meditate for an hour and then abandon their awareness. For them, every breath, every step, every mundane task became a part of the sacred. They knew that the real transformation happens not in isolation, but in integration. Look closer at your own life. How often do you feel spiritual in the quiet of meditation but lose that presence in the chaos of your day? This isn't your fault. It's how modern culture conditions us. Spirituality has become something to schedule, as though awakening could be confined to time slots. The masters showed us another way: washing dishes, chopping wood, even walking to work. All of it holds the potential for awakening. Presence isn't something you practice, it's something you embody. And once you do, the artificial boundary between the sacred and the mundane dissolves. Here lies the deeper deception. By separating spiritual practice from daily life, you unconsciously limit its power. You meditate to feel calm, but when challenged, you react. You chant affirmations, but lose focus under pressure. This division creates spiritual fragmentation, what some might call spiritual schizophrenia. The great mystics didn't wait for special moments to connect with higher consciousness. They carried their practice into every interaction, every movement, every breath. That's the level of integration modern seekers often overlook. And so the seeker who believes spirituality begins and ends with formal practice remains bound. But those who carry their awareness into every corner of life find a different path emerging, one where separation fades, and the true essence of practice reveals itself in ways most never expect. They won't tell you this, but knowing isn't enough. Modern seekers often mistake intellectual understanding for spiritual progress. They read books, quote ancient texts, and debate complex metaphysical concepts with ease. But here's the hidden truth. All the knowledge in the world won't move you one step closer to realization. The mind loves to collect ideas, categorize them, and weave them into a sense of self-importance. Yet, true transformation demands something far more uncomfortable: direct experience. And that, no book or lecture can give you. The ancient masters warned of this trap. They knew the allure of knowledge, how it seduces the ego into thinking it's advancing, when in reality, it's standing still. Imagine someone describing the taste of water with perfect precision but never taking a sip. That's the difference between intellectual understanding and realization. Realization isn't knowing about enlightenment, it's living it. It's not memorizing the map, it's walking the terrain, feeling every step, every challenge, every moment of grace. But in a world addicted to information, how many are willing to trade knowing for being? Look around and you'll see it everywhere. Seekers attending endless workshops, consuming hours of spiritual content, yet never sitting in silence with themselves. They can articulate the nuances of karma, but crumble in the face of adversity. They chase explanations, but avoid the simplicity of consistent practice. This isn't growth, it's a performance. True spirituality doesn't seek to impress, it seeks to dissolve the ego's grip. And the only way to do that is through direct experience, unfiltered, raw, and profoundly personal. For those caught in this trap, the path forward is deceptively simple. Stop collecting, start doing. The mind will resist, of course. It thrives on complexity, on feeling special through knowledge. But transformation doesn't happen in the mind. It happens in the stillness beyond it. And as you begin to step into that stillness, another lie emerges. One that strikes at the very core of identity, challenging everything you thought you knew about yourself. This is the lie that feeds your deepest insecurities and strokes your ego in the same breath. You've been told you're special, unique even, part of an elite spiritual group destined for greatness. Starseeds, lightworkers, divine emissaries, the titles are endless and the promise intoxicating. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This narrative isn't about empowerment, it's about separation. The ego loves to wear the badge of chosen one because it masks its true nature. Instead of dissolving into oneness, it builds walls, reinforcing the illusion of superiority. Think about how this plays out. During meditation, a whisper in your mind says you're advancing faster than others. In yoga class, you secretly feel proud that you held the pose longer than anyone else. These small moments feed the ego's need to stand apart, to rise above. But here's the paradox. The more you cling to this identity, the further you drift from true awakening. Real transformation isn't about being better, it's about becoming nothing. The chosen one lie keeps you tethered to the very thing you're trying to transcend. Ancient teachings warned of this trap long before modern spiritual hierarchies emerged. The masters knew that the ego doesn't just survive in spiritual practice, it thrives. It takes the language of enlightenment and twists it into a narrative of self-importance. You begin to speak not to connect, but to showcase your evolution. Your spiritual journey becomes a performance, a story to tell others rather than an experience to dissolve into. The tools meant to liberate you become chains, binding you to a new identity instead of freeing you from all identities. And so the lie persists, whispering that you're here to rise above. But the path ahead doesn't lead upward, it leads inward. It's not about being chosen, it's about choosing. Choosing to see through the illusions, to step beyond the ego's grasp, and to face the raw, unadorned reality of spiritual growth. Because beyond the stories we tell ourselves lies the truth waiting to be claimed. To break free from the web of spiritual lies, the first realization is this: you've been conditioned to believe in illusions. Each lie, whether it's dependency on tools, the comfort trap, or the allure of instant results, serves to obscure your power. The cage is subtle. It doesn't scream for attention, it whispers. It disguises itself as progress, as enlightenment, as the right way to grow. But when you look deeper, you see the pattern. Every lie redirects your focus outward, away from the truth that transformation can only begin within. The process of breaking free begins with awareness, and awareness is rarely comfortable. It means confronting where you've placed your faith. Was it in a teacher's words, a substance's effects, or a workshop's promises? This isn't about condemning those tools, they have their place, but it's about understanding their limits. No plant medicine can teach you what sitting with your raw, unfiltered emotions will. No retreat can replace the daily discipline of showing up for yourself. Ancient traditions emphasize tools as occasional catalysts, not constant crutches. Modern culture reversed this wisdom, and it's up to you to restore the balance. Each lie, once exposed, reveals a deeper layer of work. Dependency unveils your fear of self-reliance. Comfort highlights the ego's resistance to growth. The illusion of instant results forces you to grapple with patience and persistence. And yet, these revelations aren't the end. They are invitations. They call you to step into your practice with greater intensity, to seek the direct experience that no book or workshop can provide. This is where the work shifts from external to internal, from seeking validation to cultivating mastery. The beauty of breaking free is that it doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the small, consistent choices you make every day. It's choosing to meditate at 2 a.m. while the world sleeps. It's bringing presence to mundane tasks, washing dishes, folding laundry, walking to work. It's catching yourself when the ego whispers superiority and choosing humility instead. Each moment becomes an opportunity to dissolve the illusions and integrate the practice into your life, not as something separate, but as the very essence of how you live. The lies aren't just traps, they're thresholds. When you move beyond them, you enter a space where the journey no longer feels like a pursuit, but a becoming. And it's in this space that the final transformation begins, the reclamation of your path. A path defined not by external validation, but by a steady, unshakable commitment to the truth of your own awakening. Breaking free from the lies is only the beginning. To truly reclaim your path, you must replace illusion with action. But this isn't about adding more complexity to your practice. True spiritual progress thrives on simplicity and depth. It starts with commitment, a decision to show up every day, no matter how small the step may seem. Set a specific time for meditation, even if it's just 10 minutes before dawn, and honor it like a sacred appointment. The power isn't in the length of the session, it's in the consistency. Over time, these small acts become the foundation of transformation. Choose one practice, just one, and dive deeply into it. Modern spirituality often tempts seekers to dabble, sampling techniques without mastering any. But depth, not variety, is where growth lies. Whether it's breathwork, mantra meditation, or mindful movement, commit to your chosen path with discipline. The ancient masters didn't achieve enlightenment by switching practices at every obstacle. They stayed, they endured, they transcended. The same principle applies to you. Depth dissolves resistance, and resistance is the gateway to the breakthroughs you seek. Begin integrating your practice into daily life. Don't confine spirituality to a cushion or a temple. Washing dishes, driving, walking to work. Each of these is an opportunity to cultivate awareness. For example, as you cook, focus on the sound of the knife slicing through vegetables, the rhythm of your breath, the sensations in your hands. This isn't just mindfulness, it's a way of dissolving the artificial boundaries between the sacred and the mundane. The more you weave practice into your daily rhythm, the less you'll feel the need to schedule spirituality. It will simply become who you are. Another essential step is confronting the ego's grip on your journey. Pay attention to the subtle ways it seeks recognition, the pride in your progress, the need to compare, the desire to appear evolved. These patterns are obstacles disguised as achievements. True spiritual growth isn't something you can showcase, it's something you embody, often silently. The less you seek to prove your evolution, the more you'll find yourself evolving naturally. Humility isn't a weakness, it's the soil in which transformation takes root. Finally, prioritize direct experience over intellectual understanding. Books and teachings can guide, but they can't transform you. That happens only when you step into the unknown and trust the process. Close the books, turn off the podcasts, and sit with yourself. Feel the discomfort, the silence, the resistance, and stay there. This is where the work becomes real. When you commit to these steps, the lies that once held you back will lose their power, and your path will unfold with clarity and purpose. Knowing is never enough. Action is the only thing that matters now. The path forward isn't glamorous or easy, but it's yours to claim, step by deliberate step. Look around your life. Every moment holds the potential for awakening. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions or the right tools. Spiritual growth doesn't begin when you sit to meditate. It begins the moment you decide to bring presence to everything you do. Your morning coffee, the way you respond to conflict, the silent moments between breaths, all of it is practice. The lies kept you looking for something outside yourself, but the truth was always here, waiting for you to notice. So what's stopping you? Are you willing to release the need for shortcuts, validation, and comfort to step into the raw, unfiltered work of real transformation? The lies will call you back. They always do. But now you know better. This is your invitation to break free, to dismantle the illusions, and to finally awaken to the truth that's been within you all along. The only question that remains is, will you take the first step?